Trump appointed judges clear path for immigration crackdown. Higher courts, including federal appeals courts and the Supreme Court, are repeatedly allowing President Donald Trump aggressive immigration enforcement campaigns to continue, often overturning restrictions imposed by trial-level judges. Recent rulings in cases from Minnesota, Chicago, and California have paused or struck down injunctions that sought to limit the use of force, protest responses, and immigration stops by federal agents. In Minnesota, the 8th Circuit, dominated by conservative judges, including Trump appointees, halted a district judge's order placing guardrails and Operation Metro Surge. Similar intervention by the 7th Circuit and the Supreme Court have reinforced executive authority, with justices citing separation of powers and broad presidential discretion over immigration. Shutdown looms as Senate funding deal stalls over fast-track vote. A bipartisan Senate deal to avert a U.S. government shutdown ran into trouble as lawmakers failed to agree on fast-tracking a vote ahead of Friday's midnight deadline. While leaders struck an agreement with the White House, objections from individual senators slowed progress, underscoring how fragile the path remains. The deal separates Department of Homeland Security funding from broader government spending bills and includes a 2-week DHS stopgap sought by Democrats, shorter than what the administration wanted. President Donald Trump urged passage, but resistance from Republicans like Senate Lindsey Graham, who called the deal bad and criticized Democratic pressure on ICE, created fresh hurdles. Senate leaders hope to revive talks Friday, though delays could push final passage into next week, potentially triggering a brief shutdown. Melania Trump debuts high budget, not a documentary at lavish premiere. First Lady Melania Trump premiered her film Melania at the Trump-branded Kennedy Center, stressing that it is not a documentary, but a creative experience offering personal perspectives, backed by a reported $40 million Amazon MGM Studios deal and a $35 million marketing budget. The film chronicles 20 days around Donald Trump's return to White House and marks an unprecedented, highly lucrative move by a sitting First Lady. Produced with full editorial control by Melania Trump, the film features behind-the-scenes moments from Inauguration Day, her reflections on losing her mother, and curated glimpses into her public and private life. The star-studded premiere drew cabinet members, conservative influencers, and media attention, with President Trump praising its glamour. Mexico pushes back on FBI's account of Ryan wedding arrest. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has rejected FBI Director Kash Patel's claim that US and Mexican forces jointly apprehended former Olympic snowboarder and alleged cocaine trafficker Ryan Wedding, insisting the voluntarily surrendered. Speaking Thursday, Sheinbaum said Wedding turned himself in and was handed over by Mexican authorities, stressing that Mexico will not allow US law enforcement operation on its soil. Patel had publicly thanked Mexican officials for working hand in glove with the FBI during what he described as high-risk operation in Mexico City, but did not mention a surrender. Mexican Security Secretary Omar Garcia Harfuch and US Ambassador Ron Johnson both confirmed Wedding voluntarily surrendered at the US Embassy before being transferred to the US. Wedding, accused of the links to the Sinaloa cartel, has pleaded not guilty. Trump's ICE retreat signals political fear. President Donald Trump's handling of ICE increasingly suggests political anxiety rather than confidence. In Minneapolis, new enforcement chief Tom Homan signaled a drawbone, fewer agents, and a more targeted by-the-book approach following public outrage over the fatal shooting, a notable tonal shift from the administration's earlier hardline posture. At the same time, ICE abruptly ended a similar enforcement push in May, a move that appears driven by political risk rather than policy success. In Washington, the White House and Republicans are now open to concessions on immigration enforcement to avoid a government shutdown, giving Democrats unusual leverage. Polling underscores why public support for ICE has dropped sharply. Trump's immigration approval is at a low point.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.